forecast that's heating up, and it's going to get hotter as the week goes on.
I got a case of forecasts that I can pass on to you. Yeah, a lot of sunshine. As you look at our Agua Caliente casino cam, plenty of that out there, that's for sure. Not only sunshine today, but more sunshine tomorrow, and even more sunshine as we move into the weekend. But it's going to get a little toasty too. So enjoy the normal weather today and tomorrow before those numbers start moving up for the holiday. 102 is where we're setting our sights on today. Full forecast and 7-day on the way.
All right, 102, not too bad. Now to our top story, new information about what happened to a couple who disappeared 3 years ago. Investigators say they have solved the case of Jonathan Reynoso and Audrey Moran. But as Kitty Alvarado reports, the questions now are just starting.
After more than 3 years, the families of Jonathan Darling Reynoso and Audrey Moran are finally getting some answers on their disappearance in May of 2017. It appears they never left the valley and were murdered. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco says investigators found remains in the Coachella Valley.
Now we are still waiting on the results of the DNA testing to confirm that it is them. However, the investigation that led us to the remains indicate that we did find them.
Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron says he's confident the three men taken into custody and charged murdered Jonathan and Audrey or helped cover up the crime.
Against Abraham Fregoso, we filed 1 count of first-degree murder and 1 special circumstance for the killing of a witness, in this case, victim Audrey Moran, and 1 count of PC-32 against Abraham Fregoso as well, which is accessory after the fact. Manuel Rios, we filed 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 for each victim, and we filed 1 special circumstance for killing of a witness. Against Jesus Ruiz, we filed 2 counts of accessory after the fact, 1 for each victim.
Bianco says they conducted hundreds of interviews and served over 50 warrants and found evidence connecting the men to the murders in homes on Burr Street in Indio, where Fregoso and Ruiz lived, and on 4th Street in Coachella. Investigators say those responsible knew Jonathan and Audrey through mutual friends, and the witness to Jonathan's murder, Audrey in this case, may have been kept alive longer.
Any killing is bad, but this was not a particularly easy murder, if there is one. This was very bad.
Because the investigation is active, they gave very little details. But they did say they received information recently that solved this case, and more arrests may be coming.
It would probably be best for everyone if you contacted us and told us your story rather than wait for us to find you.
Lieutenant Walter Mendez says their focus is to hand the DA a thorough investigation.
To ensure that the Moran and the Reynoso family obtain the justice that they so well deserve.
In Palm Desert, Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
Now, one of the suspects, Jesus Ruiz Jr., will make his initial court appearance today at 1:30 in Banning.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
Coronavirus cases are still on the rise. 17 states are rolling back or pausing reopenings. And Dr. Anthony Fauci predicts the United States could soon have 100,000 new cases daily unless Americans take precautions. The U.S. death count tops 127,000. And Riverside County again sets a record for new cases in a single day. Here's a look at the numbers. We have more than 6,000 deaths in California, 457 in Riverside County, and 120 here in the Valley. And as local infection numbers climb, Riverside County officials say hospitals are equipped to handle any surge. Each will expand capacity beyond their licensed limits. And even though rising case numbers are adding up, the burdens on hospital staffs continues. The county says no hospitals are out of beds for any type of patient. But despite all that, frontline healthcare workers here in the Valley say their workload is heavier. Our Daytona Everett spoke with some of them.
So my day begins at about 4:45. Get here, by 6, and then take over from the doctor who's getting off, who's been here since 9 o'clock the night before. Then I start seeing patients.
Andrew Casanova is the chief of staff at JFK Medical Center, and he's also the medical director of the ER.
Certainly been busy.
From the moment he walks through the door, his day is nonstop. On top of treating a room full of patients, he's also in meetings on the side, trying to figure out how to maneuver the pandemic.
It's constantly changing, so we're constantly pivoting and trying to adapt. Let's go this way.
Andrew says the situation has been an emotional roller coaster.
In the beginning, we were all very, very ramped up. We were worried, we focused, we were, prepared, we had plans. And then we did a really good job in California, and then we didn't get the patients as much.
He called it a brief sigh of relief until recently.
And now, all of a sudden, all the patients have come.
It had doubled, and then it tripled, and now we're at full capacity on my floor.
Anne-Marie Bullard is a nurse in a COVID unit at Eisenhower Health.
To be perfectly honest, some days I go out to my car, and I cry.
Anne says she recently went through a down period.
We're all tired. We've been doing this day in and day in out for weeks.
But both Anne and Andrew agree it's all a part of the job.
This is the profession that I chose, and it's the best thing I've ever done in my life.
And this is what we do. This is what all of us ER people were born to do.
They say they don't mind doing their jobs if the public can do theirs.
All the public can do for us is wear their masks, wash their hands, and socially distance, and then I'll be happy.
Stay safe, be smart, protect yourself and your family.
Daytona Everett, NBC Palm Springs.
Some promising news surrounding a potential coronavirus vaccine. The vaccine was developed by Pfizer along with a German company, BioNTech. Early testing of 2 dosages showed patients developing higher levels of COVID-19 antibodies than typically seen in infected people. There were a couple of minor side effects like fever or sleep troubles. In total, 178 vaccines are in various stages of development. Governor Newsom signed an executive order preventing evictions because of COVID-19, which will run through the end of September. The order was set to expire at the end of July. Several Coachella Valley cities also have their own eviction moratoriums in place. And Governor Newsom says changes to the state's stay-at-home order are coming. That could happen today with cases up and also a long weekend ahead of us. We'll have his daily coronavirus briefing today at noon.
We might want to take a position on it and reach out to our legislators, asking them to support it.
The Palm Springs City Council voted on a budget for the next fiscal year late last night. The city is faced with massive cuts because of lost revenue from the coronavirus shutdown and calls from the public to re-examine policing in the city.
We have the kind of community, we have the kind of leadership from Chief Brian Reyes that makes it possible for us to do a full, complete, community-involved, police-involved review of what we've asked them to do, what resources we've given them to do it with, and how we should proceed in the future. Clearly and unanimously, community, police department, and city council made a determination that it is time for cameras to be worn.
The budget was approved 3-2 with council members Christy Holstage and Grace Garner voting against it, saying they don't think the budget clearly reflects the priorities of residents. Some of the budget will go toward body cams for the police department and money for a consultant to look at public safety. Here's a live look right now from our Agua Caliente Casino Cam in Palm Springs. Let's check in Jerry with an update on our forecast.
Yeah, it's going to be another average day today. Reviewing the last month, since it is the 1st of July, 16 days last month were above average, leaving 13 below and 1 at normal. Hottest day was the 3rd of June at 115, so slightly above average temps. And that's exactly what the long-range forecast models say for the month of July, and average rainfall, which isn't all that much. As far as temperatures, well, 88 degrees already. It's going to be a quick warm-up, but temps close to normal and similar to what we had yesterday. Doing a temp check, 68 degrees currently at Big Bear, a warm 85 at Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, 92 at 29 Palms, 1,000 Palms. homes. 91, 92 at Mecca, 91 at Indio, clear skies and sunshine galore at 88 at Palm Desert, 91 Rancho Mirage. Yeah, clear skies on satellite. Not much going on over the southwestern radar. Going to be in a dry weather pattern for Southern California. Temperatures much like they were yesterday in the low 100s. And late in the day, we'll get that onshore flow, which will get a little breezy. But dew points in the upper 40s, low 50s this afternoon. And temps that'll be just above 100 degrees this afternoon. Similar numbers expected tomorrow on our Comfort Air 3-day forecast. But then we begin to heat up Friday and especially on the 4th and 5th of July. It's going to get really hot. I'll let you know how hot. Full forecast and that 7-day just minutes from now.
Thank you, Jerry. Health officials agree that face masks can slow the spread of the virus, but those small face coverings are the subject of increasing debate. Not just to wear them or not, but really what kinds really work. NBC's Sam Brock has some real answers.
This morning, the battle over masks is raging nationwide. In city council meetings.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask.
In stores.
I have a breathing problem. My doctor would not let me wear a mask.
And even in the halls of Congress.
Unfortunately, this simple life-saving practice has become part of the political debate.
I am very concerned.
Speaking to senators Tuesday, Dr. Anthony Fauci making the startling prediction the U.S. could soon have 100,000 new COVID cases a day unless Americans take precautions.
There's no doubt that wearing masks protects you and gets you to be protected. So it's people protecting each other.
Please, wear a face covering when you go out in public.
A new study shedding light on just how effective certain masks can be. Researchers at Florida Atlantic University used a laser to measure how far droplets go with different coverings and found a well-fitting homemade mask stitched with 2 layers of fabric kept particles to just a couple inches away. A bandana was the least effective, allowing those same droplets to travel more than 3 feet away. The scientists say without any mask, particles from coughs and sneezes fly more than 8 feet. Out on the streets of Miami Beach, where masks are now mandatory, most people we spoke with were on board.
If it saves lives, I definitely am for it.
I don't want to not wear my mask, go around my parents, and then I take the virus around them.
People thinking of others, a positive sign in the midst of a still stormy debate.
There appears to be a heavy economic toll to not wearing a mask as well. Investment bank Goldman Sachs crunched the numbers and found that a national mask mandate would be more effective than lockdowns and would likely save the U.S. GDP about 5% a year, which last year was $21.4 trillion. So you're talking about more than $1 trillion in money saved just from wearing masks. In Miami Beach, Sam Brock, NBC News.
And stay with us. Up next, news from across the country. Police officers pushing back against protesters in Seattle. We'll have the details after the break.
The 29 Palms Band of Mission Indians announces the East Valley COVID-19 testing site, a partnership with the Borrego Community Health Foundation, the City of Coachella, the Desert Healthcare District, and the County of Riverside, providing easy COVID-19 testings for residents in Coachella, Thermal, and Mecca. The East Valley testing site provides testing Fridays from 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Call 1-833-624-1097 to make an appointment today.
At MJ Custom Furniture, get your furniture custom made at factory direct prices.
I bring my customers to MJ Custom Furniture because of the great quality and pricing and quick turnaround.
The interior designer at MJ Furniture came to my home and helped me turn it into a bright, amazing place.
Come into MJ Custom Furniture. Get a designer look that's elegant and really affordable. Come in today.
What's integrity? It means saying what you do and doing what you say. That's what everyone needs when they have to reach out for help. Helping accident victims who can't help themselves requires a lot of hard work, and most importantly, caring. I'm Walter Clark. I know how important this is after someone is hurt or taken from us. We are the people you need.
At Comfort Air, we're dedicated to serving our customers with only the best. The best customer service. The best trained technicians. The best warranties. The best prices. Our team is dedicated to the service you deserve. Your comfort will always be our #1 priority. Make the easy choice, the #1 choice, Comfort Air.
Tensions in Seattle were high as officers pushed protesters out of the Capitol Hill Organized Protest, or CHOP Zone. At least 13 people were arrested. Demonstrators held the area, including 6 city blocks around an abandoned police precinct, for weeks following the death of George Floyd. Recent violence in the zone prompted the mayor to order police to move in this morning. And now to our nation's capital. President Trump is under increasing pressure to respond to a growing firestorm over possible Russian payments to the Taliban for targeting U.S. soldiers. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
This morning, the Gang of 8 bipartisan congressional leaders is set to be briefed amid growing demands for answers about allegations that Russia offered the Taliban cash bounties to kill U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. NBC News has confirmed top White House officials learned of the plot as early as 2019, though the administration continues to insist President Trump was not initially informed because the intelligence was still in dispute. The White House spokeswoman pressed over whether the president reads his presidential daily brief.
The president does read, and he also consumes intelligence verbally. This president, I'll tell you, is the most informed person on planet Earth when it comes to the threats that we face.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggesting another motivation.
If the president wasn't briefed, it was probably because they were afraid to tell him any bad news about Russia and his friend Putin.
The president's Democratic rival Joe Biden weighing in.
If he was briefed and nothing was done about this, that's a dereliction of duty.
U.S. intelligence officials trying to determine if any Americans died because of the alleged Russian bounties are now focused on a car bombing in Afghanistan last April that killed 3 Marines. That's according to multiple reports, but not confirmed by NBC News. The father of one of those killed, Corporal Robert Hendricks, telling NBC News it would break his heart if the reports were true. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The Paycheck Protection Program has been extended. The Senate passed it yesterday. Small businesses can still get aid until August 8th. The program was set up to expire with more than $130 billion unused. The extension bill now goes to the House. Hong Kong police made at least 300 arrests today in the wake of a new national security law imposed by China. Thousands of protesters defied tear gas, pepper pellets, and a water cannon. The measure will allow China to crack down on free speech in Hong Kong. Today is also the 23rd anniversary of Hong Kong's return to China from Britain, a day usually marked by protest every year. Travelers from a list of 15 nations will be allowed entry to the European Union starting today, but the United States is not on that list. 30 countries in Europe closed their external borders in March to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. As most of them reopen their economies, they are also starting to welcome external visitors, though at a much slower rate than before the pandemic. NBC's Richard Engel reports.
Europe is opening up, relaxing travel restrictions starting tomorrow to salvage the summer tourism season. But Americans aren't welcome. Today, the European Union released a list of 14 nations from outside the European bloc cleared for travel based on COVID levels. The U.S. isn't on the list, and in a wake-up call on how others perceive Americans now, Russia and Brazil also didn't make the cut. The countries that did include Canada, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and Rwanda. President Trump says the U.S. is leading the way on COVID.
I saved hundreds of thousands of lives.
But new cases in the U.S. have been hitting record levels, recently averaging about 10 times as many as across the EU. The videos of American COVID rage and denial have become fodder for European tabloids. So Europe decided the U.S. isn't healthy enough to travel. Some Americans living abroad agree.
I think it's incredibly smart, and it's really just quite sad that the U.S. is on that list.
The EU restrictions are set to be reviewed in 2 weeks, but as things stand now, they might not be relaxed after the first go-around. Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
And coming up, Sandy Newton with another silver lining, turning a parking lot into a drive-in movie theater. That's next.
Buongiorno from Myers Italian Cafe, voted #1 Italian restaurant in the Valley.
Where we serve the largest glass of wine in the Valley for only $5. Great happy hour, food and drink specials. Join us at Mario's for lunch 7 days a week, only $7.95. Dinner starting at $9.95. Choose some veal, steak, seafood, chicken, and pasta. Remember, the largest glass of wine in the Valley for $5. A dinner and a glass of wine under $15.
Hey, ciao!
Nice sleep center, Bob. But what is a Bobopedic?
I could tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Oh, Bob's got a feel for your budget.
They deliver right to your door. With 30 years of sleep experience, the best warranty, and so much more. Bob's Bobopedic, from your head down to your feet, it feels like no mattress you felt before.
Wow!
Uh-oh.
Bob's Bobopedic.
You know, trust is a blessing, but it's also a responsibility. It's the cornerstone of every important relationship. Trust is what you need when you've been hurt and need help. Sometimes it's what you need the most. I'm Walter Clark. I understand how important that is. For a free consultation, call the Walter Clark Legal Group, 777-7777.
Ready to finally have the kitchen, bath, or closet you've always dreamed about? For over 20 years, Palm Desert Kitchens has been the desert's leader, providing award-winning and internationally renowned designs.
Palm Desert Kitchens, because an exceptional design is timeless.
Hamilton, one of the most beloved musicals of our time. I'm Manny the Movie Guy. Lin-Manuel Miranda's masterpiece is headed to streaming, perfect for the 4th of July. Friday, only on NBC Palm Springs today.
A pretty view in our Agua Caliente Casino cam. A lot of blue skies, sunshine galore again this afternoon. Yesterday, near normal numbers. We had 104 not only at Palm Springs, but at Thermal 2, just above average there. And we'll see similar numbers again today, but that will change by the weekend. 91 degrees right now, Palm Springs, 87 at Desert Hot Springs, 84 Yucca Valley, a sunny 75 at Cabazon. Clear skies and satellite. Not a whole heck of a lot going on over the southwest. Kind of a quiet weather pattern. Radar, not much going on there as well. Now, as far as our surface map is concerned, we're going to see winds that'll be out of the south during the middle of the afternoon. That'll turn onshore late in the day. That's it. A lot of sunshine, temperatures near average, 100 to 104 the range of highs today. We did have some morning fog along the coastline. That will return again tomorrow. Cooler numbers because of the cloud cover along the coast and an onshore flow. So 70s for highs from Los Angeles to San Diego, but inland, yeah, we're going to be above 100 degrees, 102s and 103s this afternoon, 90s up north and some 80s around 90 degrees for the San Gorgonio Pass area. Now, we did have fog west of us. That'll be the case again tomorrow. Not all that bad through the San Gorgonio Pass, but once you get to that 60-10 split, 60, yeah, some patchy fog, but definitely better patchy fog when you get into the Inland Empire. Tomorrow morning, lifting in the 8 o'clock hour. But Thursday, tomorrow, again, similar numbers for us in the Coachella Valley, 103s and 104s. Not all that bad, not too far off the mark, but things change as we head into the weekend. 4th of July, Saturday, 109 to 112. A ridge of high pressure in the upper levels, strengthening over the southwest. For us, though, remaining dry but hot. A few high clouds are a possibility, but temperatures will remain above average, especially on the 5th of July, Sunday, 113s, 114s, 115s for highs. That is hot. Excessive heat warnings could be posted for that day. We'll keep you advised, and if it happens, we'll pass it on to you. A lot of sunshine today, tomorrow, and Friday. Matter of fact, dry from top to bottom, nothing but sunshine. A few high clouds kind of move into the forecast as you move into Sunday, the 4th, but just filtered sunshine, still a lot of sun. And surface moisture, those numbers have bounced back up to the 40s as far as dew points. all the way into the weekend. Tropical wave, we increased the chance to 30% over the past couple of hours with this tropical wave moving its way northwest, paralleling the coastline. I looked at the long-range models. It does look like it could improve as it moves its way just to the west of Cabo by this weekend, but National Weather Service thinks it won't. 30% chance of success. Anyway, Comfort Air 7-day forecast keeps us close to normal today, tomorrow, and somewhat Friday. But yeah, 4th of July, 5th of July, 6th of July, numbers are going to be up there, 110 or better. Hottest day, look out. Lots of sunshine Sunday with a high of 113 for Palm Springs.
We're revving up our engines and shifting from park to drive. Hi folks, Cher Lichtman here, Mike Thompson RV. A lot has changed recently, including travel and recreation. But what